Well, the third episode of Marvel's What If is officially with us, and now that I understand why they're not really wanting to go too far away from the familiar and only remix things, I can start to enjoy it a lot more. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about this crazy what if, because the Avengers are no more. Look, before you start screaming, that was a spoiler. It's not. We've known what the third episode is. They revealed it. It's a what if, an alternative take on Fury's big week type of scenario building up to the Avengers. And there's a lot of interesting things happening here with Nick Fury and Natasha being the ones that they obviously released posters for. So that's the ones I'm going to talk about. And it is quite a different spin on the whole scenario, I will say. For good or for bad, depending on if you like these characters or what you find the strengths of these characters to be. What I really did appreciate was the fact that going into this, I thought that this would be a little bit more safer. Now, I would say it's probably not on par with the last week's episode, and once I rewatched that, and you guys can get that if you listen to the audio commentary, I started to enjoy that a lot more, understanding now how they were coming at the multiverse. I wouldn't say it's on par with that, like taking some insane twists and turns, like Thanos being completely different, but still having some of the same ideology. But what really does work on this week's episode is that you get the sense that this, more so than that episode, doesn't take as many leaps and bounds. Like, in that episode, you were like, well, Thanos, this and that, what else caused them? I guess T'Challa made everybody good. In this, it's sort of like a natural progression of, what if this exact moment in time went wrong this way? And I do appreciate that. Now, don't take that as me saying, oh, it's safe, oh, you can predict which way this is going to go. Because there's a couple things you probably will be able to, but on its own, I don't think it's that easy to start, pointing towards, oh, I knew that was coming. Some people might be able to do it better than others, but overall, when it comes to this episode, I really did enjoy it. I will say, I believe the second one is definitely the strongest, followed by this one, and the first one being the weakest. And what I also liked about this one is that when it comes to the animation, it feels like that it's getting a lot smoother as this goes on. And it makes me believe more so than ever before that they produce these sequentially, at least the first handful. So with that in mind, it's really starting to show comfort and this sort of level of, I know what to expect and it's not going to be jarring. And the episode definitely leaves you wanting more and just begging to know what happens next. And I love it for that. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Highly recommended. Obviously, if you guys are watching this, you're probably going to watch it anyway. So go get on that and wait for our audio commentary, because that is coming. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about, because a lot happens. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens next.